everybody. We're going to be making some salsa. This is Dominic, and he's going to be helping me. He's going to be helping me with the tomato part, and then I'm going to be doing the onions and the garlic and the peppers. So I'm going to teach him how to cut up tomatoes so that they're the right size, while I am dicing the onions, garlic, and using a mandolin on all of the hot peppers. Unless they're a little bit dried, then I'll just be chopping them with a knife. No, Dominic, have you washed your hands?
No.
Go wash your hands first. And come back when you're done. Okay, so Dommy, go ahead and grab your knife. Very sharp, right?
Yep.
So be careful. Hold with your left hand over here. We're going to be cutting straight lines this way, almost all the way down, but not quite. Right there. And then over here. Yep.
Mom, this money is for you.
Okay, thank you, honey.
Okay, we're going to go.
Okay. If you have a hard time cutting and not going all the way down, you can just a second, sweetie. Then what you can do is you can put chopsticks, one right here and one right here, so that you only cut as far down as the chopstick goes. So now we're going to turn it and do it this way. Go ahead and try. Good job. Alright, hi sweetie. So our camera ran out of room, but we got it back going again. So now he's got it diced, and he's just going to put it into a bowl, and I'm going to go over and work on peppers, onions, and garlic. I'll be cutting up the onions. I've got 3 onions here, and I'm just going to adjust and see what I end up liking. I've got a whole bunch of garlic. It's 3 heads of garlic that I've peeled and stuff. So I'm going to do kind of like I did with the tomato, and I'm just going to cut it most of the way down, but not entirely, so that I can have nice cubes. Being round, sometimes you can't go all the way down, otherwise you'll cut the whole thing completely off. But that's a nice way to get cubes without making a huge mess and it all falling off of your kitchen counter. Right, and then turn it sideways.
Yeah.
That was a big one, so if you need to do a little bit at a time, you're going to need to move your chopsticks on that one. Turn it this way so you don't see it coming off. When you get down to kind of the butt end, then you just turn it this way and chop. But it does make it simpler, slightly more uniform. Ooh, and the tears begin. Look at this strong onion, man. Garlic and onions, they're all chopped up. I chopped up the garlic as well. I'm going to pop that in the bowl. And then I'm going to start working on all of the peppers. I have a variety of peppers from the garden. Most of them, now this is the year of Peppergate, they call it. So these were supposed to be jalapenos. As you can tell, they are not. They're like a golden jalapeno, so they are fairly spicy, and then after a while they kind of turn this reddish color. So I've got those. I do have a few banana peppers in there, and that's fine too. Not putting my cayennes in there, but I do have a few small ancho chilies. So I'll just be cutting these up. I'm going to wear gloves because hot peppers and holding babies doesn't mix. So I'm going to cut these up into either rings or slices or something and toss them in. All right. Dommy got his finger a little bit, so now I'm going to be working on the rest of it on my own. So here's my peppers. Don't be pretty. And he's fine, by the way. We just explained that, Band-Aids and salsa
Just
don't go well together. Yes. So now he's gonna be my official stirrer, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So got the we got some tomatoes, we got onions and garlic, we got peppers. Now I gotta keep going on the tomatoes, right?
Yeah.
All right. So I've got all my salsa in a big bowl, and we actually let it rest in the fridge overnight. But I'm gonna be putting it into a pot on the stove to reduce down. Yes, you can just strain any liquid off, but I want that full flavor. So I'm just gonna reduce this down a little bit before I add the salt. I'm not going to add salt until it's reduced down, because if you add too much salt before it's reduced, then you end up with a very, very salty product. So I'm just going to put it on low for a while and wait till it's exactly the consistency that I like. Then I'll salt it. So I've been letting my salsa boil down for a couple hours, and it's almost to the consistency that I want. It'll be a little bit runny, but I want to make sure I have enough that it's worth it, and that's fine for me. I actually usually make my salsa just a little bit runny, because then we can use a slotted spoon if we want more of the chunks, and then some of the kids like it a little thinner, so it works out. So I'm now going to season it. I'm going to add some cumin. We really like cumin in our salsa, and then salt. It's spicy enough. I don't need to add any other ground spices like chili powder, ground cayenne, mace, anything like that. I don't even need to add black pepper. I have enough peppers from my garden. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that spiced up and taste test it frequently to see how I like it. And then I'm going to get it into jars. Now I did end up adding about a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of lemon. You can also add vinegar or citric acid if you like it. You don't have to, but you will want to adjust your canning times if you don't. Tomatoes themselves are just fine acidic level, but when you add peppers and onions and things like that, it does reduce the acidity. And so I do like to add a little more acidity basically because we like the flavor and because it reduces the amount of time I have to process it. So I do it because I like it, not because I feel like I have to do it. Feel free to make your own decision on that, and just kind of adjust to how much acid you have in your recipe. Anyone want to taste the salsa?
What is it now?
Salsa, spicy. You want some?
know.
Spicy? Do you need milk? Well, get your cup. I'll get you some milk. Pick it up. Ding, ding, ding. Did that matter? Was that spicy? So if you've never canned before, you may want to double check with like a canning 101 video. I have a couple out there. This part should be kind of second nature if you have done canning before, but you know, you wipe the edges of your jars. Get a clean, either new or very good condition used lid, because I'm a rebel and I allow that. Set it on, center it good. Get a ring. Rust doesn't matter. This is not getting into your product. So I've had a few people who are like, "Oh no, it's all rusted, and I don't know if I can still use it. Do I need to go buy new ones?" As long as it's not like falling apart or damaged. If it's just rust stains, then it's fine. You can kind of help prevent that by making sure that your rings dry quickly, and that you don't leave them on the jars for very long. Anyway, so just finger tight, and then like this much more. I'm going to be processing pints for 20 minutes. And the reason I'm processing 20 minutes is because Ball has a very similar recipe that processes for 15, but they use like 3/4 of a cup of red wine vinegar in it, and I don't like it that acidic. I only added a couple tablespoons of acid to it in addition to what the tomatoes already have. So I'm tacking on an extra 5 minutes. So I have hot liquid, so I want to make sure, or hot jars, hot contents, so I want to make sure that my water is hot, warm, hot, whatever you can get it to, because basically you did all this work. You don't want to stick a hot jar in cold water, or vice versa, a cold jar into hot water for future reference, and then the bottom break off and it all be destroyed. That sucks. So it doesn't have to be down to the degree. You don't have to go, oh, this is 120 degrees and this is 123. I gotta wait until this warms up 3 more degrees. No. If it's hot when you touch it, if you would tell your kid hot, then it's hot. Right? Straight out of the fridge, use cold water. Please don't put something out of the freezer into it. that would be not best practice. So anyway, I got about 8 pints out of this. So makes what? Oh, let's see. That would be 4 quarts. So that's 1 gallon. Right? Math is only my strong suit when I don't have a video pointing at me. So all these lids on, all these bands on, finger tight, and then just a teeny tiny bit more, because I find if they rattle too loose while I'm taking them out, they just don't seal as well as they do. And then into your canner with that hot water. Again, I have tough hands. I've been doing this a very long time. If your hands are not so tough, use the jar lifters. And I'm going to get this in here, and then if I don't have enough hot water in here to cover them, I'm going to go get some more hot water. I have done steam canning in this before, where you only put about halfway up the jars with water, clamp the lid on as if you're pressure canning, but then you just allow it to steam for the entire time of the water bath, because the steam gets actually hotter than the boiling water underneath. And that does work sometimes, but I have a few wide mouth pint jars in here, and for some reason, I don't know the science behind it, but they just don't seal as well if I steam can in this. They do better if they are actually in the water. I don't know what. So I'm going to go ahead and fill it so there's about an inch of water above it. Put the lid on, get it to boiling. Alright, so I've got all my salsa here, hanging out, cooling, and tomorrow morning I'll just go ahead and wipe it off, any little sediment and stuff off, and label it and put it away. So simple. Definitely worth trying. Thanks for coming along for the salsa recipe.